one of the more interesting matchups in the college football playoff is one between two traditional blue bloods in college football. The Texas Longhorns came up just short in the SEC title game, losing to the Georgia Bulldogs, and they will be facing the ACC champion, the Clemson Tigers. This is a matchup that I think a lot of people are overlooking and just immediately penciling down Texas as the winner and just trying to get them into the second round. But I think we need to really take a closer look into this matchup because, yes, Clemson has 3 losses on the season, but this is a team that I think has a good chance to pull off an upset here. And this is coming from someone that picked SMU to beat them last weekend. We're going to get into why I think Clemson has a puncher's chance to win this game and why I think this matchup is one of the more interesting ones in the playoff. But if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know how you guys think this game is going to go. Also, be sure to stay tuned. I have done previews on the other 3 college football playoff matchups already. So if you guys want to know how I think the first round is going to play out, be sure to go check those out. And we will be having my overall playoff predictions and Bowl Mania going up later this evening. But let's take a closer look at this matchup. And we're going to start on the Texas side of the things because Texas looks like they can beat just about any team in the country except Georgia for whatever reason. That has been the Longhorns' kryptonite this year. Both of Texas' losses this year have come to the Dogs, and that has looked like a bit of a problem. If you look at the Texas resume, the Longhorns have 0 wins over any team in the current top 25, yet they have looked pretty dominant most of the season. I think there is one big glaring issue with the Texas team, and I know a lot of Texas fans are going to disagree with me on this, but Quinn Ewers is a problem. He's incredibly inaccurate pushing the ball down the field. He started off a little hot connecting with Matthew Golden in the SEC Championship, but he cooled off and missed some really easy throws that could have helped Texas win the SEC title and get that bye. He's really poor under pressure as well, and he struggles to really stay composed, keep his eyes moving. Georgia found ways to pressure him. They brought pressure in a bunch of different ways. They disguised blitzes. If there's one other coach that I think could make a run here and make life difficult on Quinn Ewers, it's Dabo Swinney. He's such an elite defensive coach, and he knows how to dial up pressure. Kelvin Banks missed the SEC title game, and at the moment, I'm not really sure what his status is going to be for the college football playoff, but if you're missing your left tackle in Kelvin Banks, that could be a big problem for this Texas team because their backup did not do a very good job against this Georgia defense. This Texas roster is incredibly talented. They have arguably the best defense in the entire country, and they're loaded at all 3 levels. Anthony Hill has been a superstar linebacker for them. Alfred Collins and Colin Simmons on the defensive line. Jahdae Barron and Andrew Makuba in the secondary. This defense played really well against Georgia. The big question mark is the quarterback, and the playmakers are there. Ryan Wingo, Matthew Golden, Gunnar Helm, Isaiah Bond. This team is too good to not be overwhelming favorites in this game, and yet I worry about the quarterback for them. The upside is there, but he's still struggling with the same issues he's had his entire collegiate career, and that should worry every single Texas fan. I think Sark needs to make a move and play Arch Manning, who he brings you a little bit more versatility on the ground. He's got a better arm, and he's more accurate than Quinn Ewers. You're trying to win a national championship, and I think Arch Manning gives you a better chance to do that. Clemson is a team that was given life when Miami lost to Syracuse, and they took advantage of that, winning one of the most thrilling conference championship games I've seen in quite a while. The improvement of Cade Klubnik cannot be understated. Last year, inaccuracy really plagued this team, as well as injuries, but Klubnik has improved and turned himself into the quarterback we thought he could be. The young wide receivers are balling out. Bryant Wesco was awesome in the ACC title game. Antonio Williams is healthy, and he's playing very good football, and Jake Brenningstool seems to consistently be in the mix for the Clemson offense. We all know how elite of a coach Dabo Swinney is, and this defense has been great all year long. The one concern I do have with Clemson is their ability to hold a lead. They struggled against Pitt, they struggled against South Carolina, and they struggled against SMU. They seemed to blow leads late in games and make life way too difficult on themselves. They made big plays when it mattered, got into field goal range. Klubnik had the big 50-yard run to win against Pitt, but they can't play from behind. That's not their strength. They need to get off to a good start and keep their foot on the gas, I should say. They've got a strong pass rush. Peter Woods has been awesome. TJ Parker has been a big part of this team as well. The secondary has been good, and I think they've got some really good championship culture, which I think goes a long way in these playoffs. Dabo Swinney has won a national championship before. He's been in this situation. He's been the underdog before. And how can he keep his foot on the gas and try and pull off what would be a massive upset against this really good Texas team? That's going to be a big talking point. And if you look at this matchup, I think these teams are very similar. Clemson and Texas, neither of them have the greatest resumes in the world. Texas, like we said, hasn't beat a team in the top 25. They struggled against Vanderbilt. They got off to a slow start against Kentucky. They've lost to Georgia twice. But this Texas team has fireworks on the offensive side of the ball. They can make big plays happen. They can run the football. They can pass the football. And I think Steve Sarkisian is one of the most brilliant young offensive coaches in all of football. He knows how to get guys open. He knows how to get his quarterback playing in rhythm. And that's something that is going to be a major factor in this game for Texas. How are they going to be able to get good, quick passes out of the hands of Quinn Ewers and make a big play? The big question is going to be, can Quinn Ewers play on time? How is he going to look against this pressure of Clemson? Clemson made life really difficult on Kevin Jennings in this game, and that's going to be something to keep your eye on. The offense for Clemson is not the most talented unit in the world. The offensive line is pretty average. They haven't really had a great running attack, and I think that's where Clemson could struggle on this one, and where Texas definitely has the benefit. They've got a loaded defensive line. They can stuff the run, and they can rush the passer, and ultimately, I think that's going to be the difference in this one. I am going to take Texas to win this game, but I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than people are thinking. I think it's only going to come down to one possession. I think this will be a 27-20 victory for the Texas Longhorns. I think the offensive fireworks are there, and I think they are just a little bit more balanced on the defensive side of the ball. Clemson's secondary is good, and they can definitely lock guys down, but I think when it comes down to who do I trust between the quarterbacks, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Quinn Ewers, I think with the weapons around him, it's hard to really see this team losing this game. I think Clemson's going to keep it competitive, but I think Texas will advance in the next round of the playoff and take on the Arizona State Sun Devils.